Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This is going to be a fun update and show and tell video on some of my yarn creations. So one of the yarn creations that I have is this amazing scarf. The pattern is by Nadia Froud and she's Yarn Utopia. I love this pattern. I even made it for my mom too. Well, technically my dad, but then my mom wanted to wear it, so I guess either she's just wearing it or they're sharing it. But I loved it so much that I made it for myself too. I'm gonna get into my deck, which is the Earth Fairy Tarot. This is the tin that it comes in, and this is the Hermit Crab. This is the Hermit card, which is my late cat Kiki. So the deck release for this is going to be June 2020. If I have any changes for the release, I'll let you know. I also have another deck that I'm creating at the moment too. That's going to be released on my birthday next year. So I'll give you guys updates on that too, because I wanted to launch that one after this one, but the deck is already finished and you can find the flip through on my channel. I'll also leave that in the description bar below, and also other places where you can see the cards close up, like my Instagram. This is an interesting direction that I'm going in. I always knew that I wanted to create my tarot deck when I started reading. So I've only been using my creations because I also have a rune set too. I have Ogums, but I'm creating an Ogum deck, so that's the next deck. I'm really excited about it because I feel like I connect more to the Ogums being in card form. Also, for some of the videos that I've made on here, the ones specifically on cam support, complementary, and alternative medicine, I'm going to have my write-ups of the script that I read off of the video and post it on my blog, which is Earth Fairy Herbs Tarot. That's also the link that I always put in my description bar if you want to check that out, because I know I just read it off and it's a lot of information. You can also see exactly what I'm saying, because sometimes my voice just goes like this and then I get quiet. I tend to not have a very loud voice, so hopefully that's helpful if you guys are interested in seeing that stuff. I'm also making more videos on cam support, specifically herb videos. I really love doing that because of my career, besides being a certified tarot reader that's been reading for over 8 years. So an herb video that I really want to talk about is about dandelions. So dandelions are one of my favorite herbs. I love the symbolism. I also love the medicinal uses too. This is just an example of a book that I have that makes me really happy because it's, again, one of my favorite herbs. It's really underrated and it doesn't have the best reputation at the moment, modern day, because there's so many different things that you can do with it. So going back to decks, because I know a lot of people are subscribed to my channel because I was mainly a tarot deck channel. So I would do flip throughs, I would do reviews, first impressions. sometimes I would do readings occasionally, but I usually did that on my main channel. So I still want to do stuff about tarot because I'm still extremely passionate about it. But since I'm just using my deck, I don't know if I'm going to be doing other videos on other people's decks. But I do love looking at the decks that I have, and it's just represents my journey, and I really loved interpreting the cards and spending lots of my time doing these things. Not saying I don't do tarot readings anymore. I still use my deck all the time, but it does feel really, I guess it feels invigorating because now that I have designated time to do other things, now I have all these creative outlets, and the biggest creation is my Faery tarot deck. So I'm glad that I get to keep creating other decks and other things like with my yarn, because since I was little I always loved making friendship bracelets. I guess it started off from there, and then I started doing knitting and crocheting. I knit still, I just do it with smaller projects because it takes a longer time. But before I did knitting and crocheting, I did macrame. So one of my favorite YouTubers, and she's also a friend of mine, Cynthia, I always loved watching her videos because I love seeing people create stuff, and even the Fae in me is always wanting to, it's always like the feeling of wanting to make something your own. So sorry for my just talking video, because I have other things I want to show and I don't have a lot of time on my phone. I'm gradually erasing different things off of it. So another project that I finished, I love making the crocodile stitch gloves, and depending on the different colors you use, it makes it look like something different. For the dragon scales, these look like petals. These gloves I'm actually giving to one of my nieces, and she's younger than me, so I did make them a little smaller than what I would usually make them, but I really love how they turned out. They're actually not that tight, they're snug, but they feel like they're secure. So I might make myself a pair of these too. Out of the same yarn, I also made this pouch. And the YouTuber is Ophelia, I believe. This is her design. I really love the bottom, how it's not just going to flip, but I also made one with 2 yarns at the same time so that it's bigger and it's also more sturdier too. I really love this one, but this one's going to my close friends, and I don't celebrate Christmas necessarily. I'm not opposed to it because I feel like I can learn from all people and different religions. So I'm also not going to go into the what is it? the pagan origins of Christmas, because it's not this video, but everything seems to be intertwined, again, with people teaching other people. I feel like it goes the same way with religion. So, not really a debate type of video. So, one of my favorite aunts on my husband's side is getting this shawl. I have one shawl for myself. I'm also making another shawl that I feel like I would wear a lot. I love these colors, but I feel like it really goes with her because there was a joke with her being, I guess, masculine, not in a bad way. And I don't know, it just reminds me of her. Like, I know, but it'll take a little bit for me to make words from this. So, my shawl, which is the same pattern, also by Nadia. Oh, and the dragon scale petal crocodile gloves. I looked at 2 videos, mainly for the measurements from one video, and then the main video that I went to, her name is Sarah, so when you look up the stitch gloves, crocodile stitch gloves, she's about the second video, and then the first video, the one with the blue ones, and they're long, that's where I got the measurements from, because the one that I was actually watching for the tutorial, it wasn't the size that I was looking for, so it's by the multiple of 6 if you're interested in making it. And you can use the different crochet hooks, because sometimes I do too, and when I use a larger crochet hook, I go down by 6. So this is mine. I love this pattern because it has the droplets in the middle, and that's what really stood out to me, because when I first started looking at the shawls, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted, but I get that hint where I'm like, this is the one. And when I like something, I usually make a lot of it. So that's the situation with the shawl and the gloves, and I made a couple of these. As for the new shawl that I'm making, I'm really excited about doing it. I'm going to be using 2 colors. It's going to be more on the natural side, because the pattern, or the colors that the creator was using, she uses a gradient yarn, but it's brighter, which does work. But if I'm going to get everyday use out of it, I'm not going to wear that, because my spectrum is browns, greens, blacks, grays, occasionally blue, but not an in-your-face blue. It's a muted one, so I mainly use earthy tones. The 2 that I'm going to use are these cotton polyester blends, which is silver lining, and it looks like a little bit of a darker gray or silver in person. And this one is in mochaccino. I love the purple undertones. It's also like a chocolate coffee looking color, hence the name. Then I made a glove for my husband. I only made one so far. I'm doing my own measurements because he wanted to have an 100% cotton yarn. So I went with, well, he chose this color. If anyone's curious, he's from South Florida. So his color choices are a lot different than mine. Well, the bright ones, but he wears a lot of neutral colors too. So I'm gonna show you guys the glove when it's on, because when it's not on, I feel like it doesn't show it as well. So this is a men's size. It's not gonna fit me exactly, but I did my own decreases because this yarn doesn't stretch as much, and I also did the holes for the fingers bigger. Again, this is from Nadia. I watch a lot of her videos because I feel like the stuff that she makes are more of my style. So I'm coming to an end of my video. I see that my time is running out, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a fun video because I really enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in another